And I think that brings us to why we are here tonight, to celebrate Dream Achievers. I want to first thank Pastor Whitaker and First Lady and the church for having us tonight and for hosting this. I've been hearing for years about Year Up, but this is the first opportunity that I've had to come and to truly celebrate with all of you the accomplishments. I want to first acknowledge the Executive Director of Year Up for our region, Ms. Guy Lane, St. Just. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And I understand that she has worked just tirelessly in this program, and I certainly wanted to say thank you so much for your leadership. And I understand as well that there are about 850 Prince Georgians who have graduated from this program, so we are certainly proud of that. Out of 2,700 graduates in this region, and we think that is so impressive, and I'm just so proud to have a chance to salute all of them tonight, to say thank you so much to all of the graduates and others who have supported this program. Now, Pastor Whitaker, I have to tell you, is a fierce advocate of this program. In fact, he said, you know what, if you all don't make it through here tonight, this is his program. I am here to understand he has a very personal interest in this program, and that it was really important to him that all of us would be here tonight to salute it, and I'm certainly honored to have a chance to do that. This is such an amazing program that I understand that President Obama also recognized the accomplishments of all of the graduates and recognized this as one of the programs that he said actually there are all kinds of people who succeed despite the obstacles. And that is really what we're here tonight to recognize, is in spite of the gifts that we've been given, we recognize that sometimes life can be difficult. And so it requires that each of us would make a commitment to ensure that all of our children are able to achieve the American dream. And so I'm so proud of programs like Year Up, that ensure that all of our kids are able to tap into the talent that they were born with. And, you know, and I say this and I don't say it lightly to so many of our kids, that it is certainly the case that God has gifted each of us, and that it is His design that we will be successful and that we will contribute greatly to the kingdom. But sometimes that requires the support of all of us, because really, but for the grace of God, where would we be? And so it is all of our responsibility to ensure that our children have opportunities. And those opportunities, again, are the responsibility of all of us. Education, most especially, I believe, is the great civil rights issue of our day. And we are really glad to have programs like Year Up that will support the work that we're doing, not only in the school system, but supports the work that we're doing as a government. We have decided in our administration, and I want to thank the council member for being here tonight, Councilmember Rodney Streeter, who is also very passionate about young people and about their futures. And he's right when he says that we discuss all the time, really what we discuss is what is our obligation. You know, you've heard the saying that to whom much is given, much is required. And I can tell you that we share in the philosophy that when we leave this space, it ought to be better than we found it. And the way that we believe that we have the best opportunity to do that is by making sure that every one of our young people have the opportunity to realize their potential. I believe that Prince Georgians in particular, our kids are some of the most talented we have ever seen. Our kids come here gifted. They are especially gifted. But again, it takes a lot for us as a community to make sure that they realize that. Now, in the government, I can tell you that we have done quite a lot, even in our administration over the last 10 months, to prioritize children. In fact, we've met with our cabinet today, and we'll be talking to the council and others about it, but we have declared Prince George's County child-friendly. And what we mean by that is that it is a great priority of our administration to put into place programs and initiatives that help us not only target the health and welfare of our children emotionally and mentally, but to make sure that we're also ensuring that they are academically sound, that they are able to participate in sports and athletics and all of the other areas that allow them to develop character, that help them to understand what perseverance looks like. And so we have really started out by, first of all, making sure that we invest heavily in our young people. We started that off when we passed our budget down to the council. And they generously supported a budget that in this last year alone increased teacher salaries, reduced class sizes, and we're also doing something that is really important, and that is that we are funding going forward. We have a goal of establishing health clinics right inside of our schools. The reason that we are doing that, and we think is really important for our young people, we're working toward over 40 new health clinics that will be standing up in our school systems, because Prince George's County stands, unfortunately, as a behavioral health desert. What this means is not only too many of our adults, but too many of our children suffer because there are many, many obstacles, emotional and otherwise, that disallow our kids from reaching their potential. And so we are not waiting for them to become adults. We are making sure that we build strong children. It was Frederick Douglass who said that it is much easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And we believe that philosophy wholeheartedly, and believe that we have an obligation to do everything we can to invest in our children early and often. We will do that not only in our school system, but we were really proud this past year to set a very aggressive goal through our Summer Youth Enrichment Program. Many of you probably heard about this program. Generally we hire about 3,000 of our youth. But in this last year, we took that number to 6,000, over 6,000, close to 7,000 young people we employed this year. And again, we did that in partnership with the County Council, invested an additional $4 million to make sure that our kids could work this summer. And it wasn't just work that they do. When we say enrichment, we mean that we wanted to deposit something in all of our kids. And that was beyond work. We expanded the ages of the kids who could participate to now 14 to 22 years old, because just like the Year Up program recognizes, our kids need our support for much longer than 18 and 19 years old. They need our support even longer than that. And so we made sure that we expanded the age for the Summer Youth Enrichment Program so that we could reach even more of our kids. And we had miraculous results. There was a young woman whose name is Kayla, who I had an opportunity to meet during the period where we were accepting applications. When we decided that for our program, we were not going to wait for our kids to just apply online, because a lot of our kids don't have the smart devices to be able at home go on the computer or the phone. So I went out to a place that Pastor knows about called the Community of Hope. And Pastor Lee opened his doors for us to sign up a lot of our young people for the summer program, and met Kayla there. I was just kind of walking around greeting the kids, and Kayla stopped me, and she said, you know, I'm afraid I might get lost. And I didn't know what Kayla meant. I said, you might get lost? She said, well, I'm 18, I've dropped out of college, I don't have a job, and I'm afraid. I feel that I might get lost. And it was such a powerful moment for me. I stopped and said to Kayla, you know, it took a lot of courage for you to share that concern with me. And I told her, you know what, we're going to make sure absolutely you will not get lost. And so we hired her in our program, and she worked in the Office of Community Relations, and she performed so expertly that we have hired her full-time to work in the government and the Office of Community Relations. And we've even done better than that. We have now connected her with the Prince George's Community College to make sure that she's also able to pursue her education. But Kayla is just one of many of the 6,000 reasons why we increased the numbers from 3,000 to 6,000, because the truth of the matter is we cannot afford to spare a single child. We really cannot afford to lose a single child. And we know that Year Up believes this as well, that all of our children are valuable. You've heard already the council member talk about the great things that are coming to Prince George's County. I hope you all know that Prince George's County is on the move. I don't know how many of you have heard that we are the crown jewel of Maryland, and you can start hearing this kind of thing about Prince George's County. Somebody might also tell you that there really literally, quite literally, is no place like Prince George's County any place else in the country. I hope that you've heard that as well. But there is great opportunity coming to Prince George's County. I left the Board of Trade in Washington, D.C. tonight, where we met with many businesses, and I can tell you that it is all a buzz about Prince George's County, that people want to come into Prince George's County to to bring their businesses and bring their opportunities. And just as you heard from our council member, we have also been able to say to them, we have the best and brightest, and we don't mean to brag or exaggerate, but it is simply the truth that we have young people here who are simply outstanding in every way, and if given the opportunity, they exceed all of their own expectations and they can achieve their dreams. But again, it requires programs like Year Up that will work with our young people and make sure that they develop into the young people that we know God has designed them to be. So again, I just wanted to stop by to congratulate you. I know there are many, many stories. I wish I had been here tonight to hear a lot of them, but I know there are two in particular, young adults who I want to congratulate tonight and to tell their stories. The first is a young man. His name is David Gatlin. And David was 21 years old when he enrolled in the Year Up program. He had initially enlisted in the Army, but when he applied for Year Up, he was unemployed. I'm told that David went through the program with Year Up, learning all kinds of IT and computer skills. And the skills he learned and the promise that he showed actually landed him with an IT support team with a company called Salesforce. Many of you may be familiar with Salesforce, but it is a major cloud-based software company. And we are really, Prince George is proud that David is now full-time employed and moving his career forward with Salesforce. I understand that there's also a second story, and it comes from a young lady named Jade Johnson. Now, Jade, you already know about Jade as a graduate from our very own Suitland High School. So we are certainly proud of Jade. And when Jade applied for Year Up, she was working at Red Lobster after having graduated from Suitland. And when she finished Year Up, she was 19 years old. And during that year, she had the opportunity to intern with Fannie Mae. And while there, she learned a variety of technical and professional skills and performed expertly and was noticed and stood out. And upon completion of the program, Jade was hired. She was Fannie Mae was so impressed with her that they hired her full-time as a project manager. And so we are just so proud also of Jade, and believe again that there are just two of the many stars who are here tonight. And I know that every single one of them, again, I wish that I could have heard more and more of the stories, but there are so many more Jades in the audience and so many more Davids. And the truth is, it is our job to find them. I'll leave you with a quote from someone that we all love and admire and who we just can't really stop talking enough about. And it is Dr. Martin Luther King, who left us with enough wise words, I think, to carry us a lifetime. But Dr. King once said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? And so I'll leave all of you tonight. I know that to some extent I'm singing to the choir because you're here tonight and you're supporting this program. But that is the question that we leave for you tonight, that I would leave to ask you what it is you're doing to make sure that you put one of our young people on a pathway to success. That's the question that I believe we can each ask ourselves every day. What are we doing? Not just for the young people that we know and love and have charge over, but asking ourselves, how do we really extend ourselves to the young person who's not in our family, who's not in your neighborhood? What are we doing to make sure that every child within our sphere has an opportunity to succeed? What are we doing to do that? And so that is the question. I know that so many in this room have answered that call. And so I want to say thank you for that. And again, I want to say congratulations to all of the alumni from this program and for those who are currently participating. Truly, the best is yet to come. And I couldn't be any more proud to have so many of the graduates right here in Prince George's County. And so again, I want to say to Pastor and First Lady, thank you so much again for always opening your doors and for all of the work that you're doing to support this very, very worthy program. May God bless each of you, and may God continue to bless Prince George's County. Thank you.